We've all heard the phrase, just trust your gut. It sounds simple, almost magical. Like some secret wisdom passed down from our ancestors, as if deep inside, we all carry a perfect compass pointing us toward truth, love, and happiness. We tell it to friends when they're unsure. We tell it to ourselves when we don't want to overthink. We say you already know the answer. But here's the question we rarely ask: what if your gut is wrong? What if that strong feeling you have isn't wisdom at all, but fear wearing a clever mask? Or maybe it's just a habit you've never questioned, or a hope you desperately want to be true. And if that's the case, is trusting your gut always the right thing to do? Or could it be quietly leading you away from what you truly need? If questions like this make you pause and think, you're in the right place. Welcome to Mind in the Mirror, where we look deeper into the thoughts we live by. If you enjoy ideas that make you slow down and reflect, subscribe and like this video, so you never miss a moment to look closer at yourself. Part 1. The Myth of the Inner Compass. We like to imagine intuition as a pure wise voice inside us, untouched by mistakes or bad judgment. A voice that always knows the truth. It's a comforting thought. Close your eyes, listen to your heart, and the right answer will be there waiting. But the reality is, your gut isn't a crystal ball. It's not magic. It's the sum of everything you've experienced, along with everything you've misunderstood. It reacts to patterns, noticing when something feels familiar, and links the moment you're in now to moments you've lived before. That's why a strong feeling might be genuine wisdom, or just an old wound talking. Maybe you just know someone is bad for you, not because they are, but because they remind you of someone who once hurt you. Maybe you just know a career move is perfect, when deep down, you're chasing the same approval you've been chasing for years. Your gut isn't neutral, it's shaped by fear, hope, trauma, and memory. Sometimes that's a gift. Your instincts can protect you, sensing danger before your mind can explain why. They can pull you away from situations that don't feel safe. But they can also lie. They can push you away from good opportunities, trick you into avoiding what's healthy, and keep you repeating the same mistakes, simply because they feel familiar. That's the danger. When we follow our gut without question, we risk mistaking emotion for truth. So before you trust that strong feeling, pause. Ask yourself, is this instinct guiding me towards something real, or is it just my past speaking in a familiar voice? Part 2. When instinct becomes impulse. We live in a world that moves fast. Messages send in seconds. Purchases happen with a click. Decisions can be made in the time it takes to blink. And because everything around us is speeding, we're told we should move fast too. Go with your first feeling. Trust your gut before you overthink it. But fast doesn't always mean wise. That sudden pull towards someone could be a real connection, or it could be your mind replaying an old unhealthy pattern. That powerful urge to quit your job could be clarity, or it could just be burnout begging you to escape. Gut feelings are powerful. In moments of danger, they're life-saving. If a car swerves toward you, you don't think, you move. If something feels wrong in a dark alley, you listen and get to safety. In emergencies, your gut is a fast alarm system that acts before your brain catches up. But most of life's big choices aren't emergencies. Choosing a career, ending a relationship, moving to a new city, these deserve more than a quick reaction. The problem isn't that instincts are useless, they're not. The problem is, we sometimes use them as a shortcut to avoid thinking deeply. We call it following intuition, when it's really just impatience. Real wisdom doesn't rush. It sits with uncertainty. It asks, why am I feeling this way? Is this fear or truth? Is this choice pulling me forward, or keeping me in a loop I've been in before? In a speed-driven world, the hardest thing might be slowing down, waiting long enough for the first wave of emotion to pass, so you can see what's left. Your gut might be right. It might be wrong. The only way to know is to give yourself the space to find out. Part 3. The bias hiding in your gut. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Your gut is biased. It leans toward what feels safe, familiar, and like you. That can be comforting, but it can also quietly hold you back. When your gut says something feels right, it might not mean it's truly good for you. It might just mean it's comfortable. And comfort isn't always the same as growth. This is why people stay in toxic relationships, why they turn down great opportunities, why they judge strangers before knowing them. Our instincts evolved to keep us alive, not to make us happy. They're built for survival, not fulfillment. Your gut might tell you not to speak up in a meeting, because somewhere in your past, staying quiet kept you safe from criticism. It might tell you not to travel somewhere new, because the unfamiliar feels dangerous, even when it's not. It might even keep steering you toward the same kind of partner you've always chosen, because they fit a pattern you've known for years, even if that pattern has never worked. Your gut isn't a divine voice whispering ultimate truth. It's a reflection of your experiences, habits and fears. It's shaped by everything you've lived through, and everything you've been told to believe. If you never question it, you'll spend your life inside the invisible walls it builds. You'll keep avoiding risks that could change you for the better. You'll keep choosing safe over right. And while that might keep you alive, survival isn't the same as living fully. Instead of taking your gut's word as final, treat it like one voice in the room, a voice worth hearing, but not the only one. Thank it for trying to protect you. Then ask, is this safety or fear? Is this comfort or truth? Growth starts there, not in obeying every instinct, but in understanding where it comes from. Part 4. Learning to question yourself. So if just trust your gut isn't always the best advice, what's the better path? It's not about throwing your feelings away, or pretending they don't matter. Your feelings are part of you. They carry signals worth listening to. But they're not the whole story. The real skill is slowing down, and looking inside them. When your gut tells you something, don't rush to act. Pause, take a breath, create a bit of space between feeling and action, then ask, why do I feel this way? Is this based on facts or on fear? Is it about the moment I'm in now, or is it the echo of something from my past? Is this instinct pulling me toward the life I want, or pushing me back into the one I've been trying to grow beyond? When you ask those questions, something powerful happens. Sometimes you'll find your gut is right, and now you'll know why. That clarity makes your decisions stronger, more grounded, and easier to stand by later. Other times you'll realize your gut is just replaying an old wound, or repeating an old habit. And in that moment, you have the rare chance to choose differently, to break the pattern. Real wisdom isn't about always obeying your instincts, and it's not about ignoring them either. It's about letting instinct and reflection work together. Your gut can be the starting point, that first whisper of awareness, but your mind, your values, and your deeper self should join the conversation before you act. The goal isn't to be quick. The goal is to be true, and truth often appears in the quiet space, where both your heart and your head are heard, where you can tell the difference between what feels right and what actually is right. Outro. Our gut is like a whisper in a noisy room. Sometimes it points us in the right direction. Other times it quietly steers us off course. If you follow it without thinking, you can mistake what feels familiar for what's true. You can confuse fear for intuition, or a quick impulse for real wisdom. Ignore it completely though, and you risk losing that deeper sense that sometimes catches what your mind misses. The answer isn't to trust your gut blindly, it's to listen, and then question. Hold your feelings in one hand, your thoughts in the other, and let them have a conversation before you act. Life isn't a choice between your head and your heart. It's about finding the space where both have a voice. That's often where you'll uncover not just what feels right, but what actually is. So what about you? Do you follow your gut, or do you stop to question it first? If this made you think, subscribe to Mind in the Mirror, and like this video, so you're here the next time we explore the thoughts that shape our lives.